Hey there. Ready to dive into some seriously cool AI stuff today?
Mm.
We're talking NVIDIA. They just dropped this new thing. Llama 3.1 Nemotron 70B.
That's, yeah, that's a mouthful.
It really is. But trust me, the name isn't the only big thing about it. This new language model's packing a massive 70 billion parameters,
Yeah.
and it's up on Hugging Chat.
Huge implications there. I mean, that kind of accessibility combined with the sheer scale of this model, we're not just talking about another step forward here, it's a whole leap.
Okay, so 70 billion parameters definitely sounds impressive, but I gotta admit, I'm kind of lost on what that actually means. Like, break it down for us. What are we even talking about here?
You got to think of a language model like a gigantic neural network,
Yeah.
almost like a brain, right? Each parameter is like a connection in that network, a tiny piece of knowledge about language.
Just 70 billion of these connections in this case.
Boom, exactly. And those connections are what let Llama 3.1 Nemotron 70B do its thing. Understand all the little nuances of language, grasp the context, and then generate text that sounds incredibly human, like scarily human.
Whoa, okay. So it's like having a brain with 70 billion neurons all dedicated to understanding and spitting out language. That's wild.
Yeah, and it gets even wilder. We haven't even gotten to the multimodal stuff yet.
Right, right. The notes mention that. Multimodal meaning.
Meaning this model doesn't just process text. We're talking about images, descriptions, even code snippets. It can understand what's in an image and connect it with relevant text.
Hold up. It can actually understand what's in an image and then connect it back to text. What kind of sorcery is that?
It's all about embeddings, basically translating both the images and the text into a format the model can work with.
So like giving the model a whole new set of senses, letting it experience the world a bit more like we do.
Precisely.
Okay, so this opens up possibilities way beyond like writing a better email, right?
Absolutely. Think like AI-powered search engines that don't just find keywords, but actually understand what you're looking for in an image. Or even wilder, helping visually impaired users navigate the world by interpreting their surroundings.
That's incredible.
Hmm.
Do you have any like concrete examples of how this could work in practice?
Picture this.
Yeah.
You show Nemotron 70B a photo, right? Say
Right.
a cat, but it's wearing one of those tiny hats.
Okay, I'm picturing it. Keep going.
And the model, it doesn't just recognize that there's a cat in a hat. It gets the humor. It might even spit out a caption like, "This cat is definitely having a better hair day than I am."
Get out. It's like this model is understanding the humor, the emotion behind things, not just the literal content.
Exactly. It's a level of understanding we haven't really seen before. And get this, because it's on Hugging Chat, all this power, it's suddenly within reach for way more people.
That's what's so crazy to me. Hugging Chat being open source. It means anyone can tinker with these models. That's a game changer for developers, researchers, anyone who might not have the resources to build something this complex themselves.
It's like giving everyone access to a cutting-edge AI lab. And because Llama 3.1 Nemotron 70B is on Hugging Chat, researchers, say in healthcare, they can now access and actually use it, experiment with it, potentially change everything about how their fields work.
Healthcare, you said. Tell me more.
Well, imagine AI assisting with diagnoses, analyzing medical journals, patient records, even medical imaging, all to help doctors make faster, more informed decisions. We're talking about life or death stuff here.
Okay, that's huge. Like the doctor-patient relationship, that's got to change with this kind of tech, right? Can you elaborate on that?
Think about a world where doctors, they've got this AI assistant by their side, analyzing this complex medical data on the fly while they're with the patient.
So instead of replacing doctors, it's more like AI becomes this powerful tool, right? Something to enhance their expertise.
Exactly.
Are there any real-world examples, even at this early stage, of this kind of AI in action in healthcare specifically?
Yeah, there are some really promising research projects going on. For example, they're exploring how AI can be used to analyze medical images, maybe detect diseases like cancer earlier, more accurately than we can now.
Whoa, that's crazy. But it's not just healthcare, right? Like we were talking about earlier, the whole multimodal thing. What about education? How could this technology be used there?
Oh, education is ripe for disruption. AI like this, it could personalize the whole learning process. Imagine tailoring lessons based on a student's real-time performance, their actual engagement, truly individual learning.
So instead of one size fits all, each student gets the support they need exactly when and how they need it. It's like having a personal tutor for every kid.
Precisely. And don't forget about the potential in scientific research.
Oh yeah, this tech could be analyzing massive data sets in What, climate modeling or something?
Hmm.
Or even drug discovery?
You got it. Llama 3.1-Nemotron-70B, crunching through massive data sets on climate change, helping us understand those complex models, maybe even predict future trends better.
That's exciting stuff. It feels like the potential here is almost limitless.
That's the thing, isn't it? This isn't just a small step forward, it's a completely new era for AI. The
Right.
potential is huge, and because of how accessible it's becoming.
With Hugging Chat, yeah, that's the real game changer. These tools are no longer stuck in research labs. It's out in the wild now.
It really is. We're going to see some crazy creative applications in the next few years, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
But, and I hate to be a downer here, we've got to acknowledge there's a flip side to all this.
Right, right. It's easy to get caught up in all the cool possibilities, but reality check time.
Mhm.
What are some of the potential downsides, the challenges we need to be thinking about with this kind of technology?
Well, bias is a big one. These AI models, they're trained on these massive data sets. But if those data sets have biases baked in, reflecting, say, societal biases, the AI, it's going to inherit those biases, potentially make things worse.
So if an AI is being used to help with hiring decisions, but it was trained on data that reflects historical biases, it might unintentionally discriminate against certain candidates, even if they're qualified.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to make sure the data we're feeding these models is diverse, representative, and that we have ways to spot and correct for those biases actively.
That makes sense. Anything else we should be cautious about?
The black box problem is another one. With some of these AI systems, it's tough to understand the why behind their decisions. This lack of transparency, that's a problem, especially in fields like healthcare or finance, where the stakes are high.
So a doctor using AI for a diagnosis, they need to be able to see how the AI got there, right? Not just take the answer at face value.
100%. Transparency is key if we want people to trust these systems and to make sure they're used ethically.
It seems like there's a lot to unpack as we enter this new era of AI. It's not just about the tech itself, it's the ethics, the societal impact, all of that.
Absolutely. We need engineers, ethicists, policymakers, the public, all working together to make sure we get this right.
It's on all of us then to shape how AI develops and how it gets used.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
It's been fascinating and a little unnerving, if I'm being honest, to delve into the possibilities and the challenges around Llama 3.1-Nemotron-70B. Feels like we're standing at the edge of something brand new, something huge, and it's up to us to figure out how to navigate it.
It really does feel that way, and that's what makes this whole thing so fascinating, so important to talk about.
Totally agree. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of AI. Until next time, stay curious, everyone.
Yeah, but it's not just about making sure the data's, good enough. There's also the issue of how do we even know what these AI systems are doing?
Right, like how the sausage is made.
Yeah, exactly. It's called the black box problem. With some of these systems, it's really hard to understand the decision-making process, the logic behind it. And that lack of transparency can be a real problem, especially in fields like healthcare.
Yeah, if a doctor's relying on AI for a diagnosis, they can't just blindly trust the AI, right? They need to know how it got there.
Exactly. Transparency is super important for building trust in these systems, making sure they're being used ethically, not just efficiently.
It's a lot to consider, right?
Mm.
The tech itself is mind-blowing, but then there's this whole other layer of ethical and societal impacts to think about.
It really highlights the need for, well, a more holistic approach to developing AI. We need the engineers, sure, but also ethicists, policymakers, even the public weighing in.
It sounds like a shared responsibility then, figuring out how to make sure AI develops in a way that's beneficial for everyone.
Exactly. And that's why conversations like this are so important. The more we talk about these issues, the better prepared we'll be to navigate this new landscape.
Well said. It's been a fascinating deep dive, to say the least, exploring both the amazing potential and the very real challenges that come with something as powerful as Llama 3.1-Nemotron-70B. It feels like we're standing on the edge of something truly transformative.
We are. There's no doubt about that. The future of AI is being written right now.
And it's a story that involves all of us. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of AI, and until next time, keep those brains buzzing.